As you guys know, I will be competing in as you guys know, I will be competing as a jungler in season 10 play-ins for SPL. So I'm gonna be making a best jungles tier list for season 10, and I'll be giving you my reasoning on why I think these junglers are in their specific position. Before we start on anything, I wanna make it pretty clear that I think and I believe that jungle is dictated by what is your pace and tempo as a jungler to impact the map, and not only that, but to show, and also I think the jungle is revolving around one shot. So when it comes to one shot, there's characters that are specifically better than others. So we'll start right now. So when I say like, I think characters in the jungle right now, the best ones are the ones that can reset a fight. So when I say reset, what do I mean? I mean a character that can kill one person and continue killing after that. And so there's only like specific characters that can do that. And so we're going to show you who are the best at doing so. So here we go. Best Jungles Tier List Season 10 by your boy. First, I'm going to do junglers that I believe are true junglers. And then I'm going to do, more niche junglers for you guys, because I know you guys love your niche junglers. When I say niche, I mean, different, not meta junglers. So like I said, I'm going to do traditional. I think Achilles is probably a B tier average jungle right now. Don't think he's the greatest, so we're going to skip over these. I'm not even going to put Amma on this list because I don't think she's a good jungler at all. I'll drop her down here. I think Ao Kuang is a S tier jungler right now, man. How long has it been since we've seen that? I think Arachne is about I would say below average jungle. My reasoning for Arachne is that, like, she's not a one-shot character, correct? Like, she's an overtime DPS jungler, and I just think if you have, for example, even auto speed builds like super tank Arachne, and I mean, like I said, like I can play Arachne and win a game. Doesn't mean she's good, right? Like I can play Bacchus jungle and say, win a game and be like, oh, Bacchus jungles is great. No, that's incorrect. Even auto speed is not a good Arachne either way. But let's go back. Let's continue. Awilix is crazy, right? Because I have never seen Awilix this high on a tier list, but I think she's there. I think she is S tier, in my opinion, right now. I think one-shot meta is her meta. She also got, I think her problem always throughout the years, and you guys know I'm a very patent Awilix player, was that her ult was too long of CD. And so if you did beat her ult, which you should, it felt like the character didn't have a fight after that. And in this meta, that no longer applies. And her buff CD on her ult has helped a lot too. So that is definitely why she's up there. I think Baka is in I would say maybe average or maybe below average jungle. I would say below average. Can he stomp rank games? Yes, I would say he could stomp rank games because he can power farm. But I think his team fight is very weak, right? I think any mage, for example, an Agni mid, right? Let's put a scenario: Baka blink ults, Agni beats dashes, then you jump after him, he ages, then you're dead, correct? And this happened, and then he has no re-engage, right? Without Baka ult, like what is Baka, right? Why wouldn't you just play like any other character if it comes down to Baka with no ult, right? Because Baka without ult is no character. The only way this character could be decent is going full crit and then one tapping like 2 to 3 people with your ult, which is very unlikely. Let's say, for example, Awilix, right? You blink knockup, that person can no longer beat Aegis during the knockup, and then now you flip auto attack Hydra's one shot or pull auto flip one shot. And so that's why Awilix, if you compare Awilix to Baka, and you can see the tiers in between, that's a very valid point. Bastet, I think, is a very strong jungle right now. I think the walls are very strong, really good for her to come in and out of fights. I think she has good damage. I think if you're consistent with your ults, she's a strong jungle. If you're not consistent with your ults, I would say she's an average jungle, but I'm going to assume that you'd be a decent Bastet, in this tier list. So that's where I'm going to leave her. I think Kama... you know, you'd think in a one-shot meta, Camo is actually pretty strong, but I think because they have nerfed him a bit, I don't think he's as strong. But I would have to continue. I played him a couple of times, but I need to continue playing him. I think he's between A and B. I leave him. I'm gonna leave him at A just because of how consistent his ult is. You know, I think in a meta where damage is pretty high, and Bloodforge is really good, which is a Kama item. So I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave him there. Kama is a better solo than jungle right now. Yeah, maybe, maybe. Like, the thing about Kama, right, is why was he ever played in solo? Well, because the character was so damn strong, and that he was a solo laner, right? He could be picked jungle or solo and flexed. Kama is no longer this very, very, very strong character, and he is, I would say, a pretty average character in terms of damage because that's all he does. And so survivability is high, his damage is average, and then he has no CC. So having no CC is very impactful in this meta, in my opinion. And then so I think his damage is decent, but if it was high damage, he'd probably be a really strong jungler. But without that, I think the only reason he was ever meta in solo was because the kit was just bloated. It's not because he was a true soul laner, right? Because Kama is not a true soul laner. He's just good dive, but he doesn't have CC, initiation, buy. Like, he doesn't. All he does is kill one person. He takes one person out of the fight. He doesn't, like, he's not a Kukulkan. He's not a Guan. You know, he doesn't do any of these things. So I'm gonna just leave him there. I think he is only because Bloodforge is strong. I think I'll leave him here because his all in is very strong. Bellona, I would say, is probably like a below average jungle. I think all auto attack junglers that can't build crit are not as strong right now. I could do Chang'e if you guys wanted. Chang'e, I think, might be decent right now. I have not tried her, but doing this tier list might make me try her. You see, when I think about the meta right now, I think that Chang'e could farm. She's similar to AO, right? She farms the jungle, and then her one shot is pretty serious with Blink ult 3-1. Does about like 1,500 damage. If it hit multiple people, I mean, then the fight's probably over. So I think, but her one shot is there. So I'm very interested. I think I have to practice it. I'm probably gonna do a video on her because of this tier list. So we'll continue. You guys know I like my fair share of Kukulkan jungle. I think he's below average right now. I think since the pace is faster in season 10, but I think it's, like I said, it's more of a one shot for meta for junglers, and you know, just building a hybrid Kukulkan just doesn't satisfy the needs. I'd rather just prefer to be a, you know, Thor or Bastet or Awilix or AO. He doesn't one shot. He annoys the backline. You know, he does a lot of like interruption, but that doesn't value very high in this meta. I did play Cleo. I thought she was pretty strong in this meta, playing walls and doing really good damage. I'm not sure if she's between average to strong to me. I'm not sure yet where I'd put her. I think she's more of an average jungle. Her damage doesn't feel high enough. I feel like they nerfed her damage over the last year so hard that like her damage doesn't one shot, you know, like her 3-2, all right. So let's think about an Awilix and Cleo, right? Let's put an S tier jungle versus a B tier jungler, right? Let's talk about scenario. So AO versus Cleo, right? Cleo, let's even give Cleo the advantage that she initiates first. Cleo 3s, right? 3s, then 2s, right? 3 auto cancel, 2 auto cancel, 1, right? That's her highest outburst. So 3 dash, auto cancel, 2 auto cancel, ult, auto, 1. That's her highest damage, right? AO blows it out of the waters in damage, right? AO just pops his 2. If he feels like he's gonna get silenced, he illusions, and then he just trades 2-3, right? And then you can easily juke the ult, in my opinion, and out lifesteal. So I just don't see, like, why pick Cleo that only does damage, correct? When you can pick this character that just does more damage in a 1v1 or in a burst meta. A lot of people say tank meta right now. I mean, I could see that, but that's what solo laners do. Like, I think they're calling it a tank meta, but I don't see any junglers building tank. I don't know. Jungle meta is definitely one-shot meta. Hybrid doesn't feel the greatest. It's very specific to the character, and even then, I don't agree with it. Dodgy will always be a strong jungle regardless of the meta. She has one tap potential. Not only that, but her ult just will always have insane value. So you know she's as strong as her ult is, right? I don't think her damage is one shot material. Like 3 auto 1 does like probably like 1k, but then you have to 2, and then if your 2 doesn't finish, I don't think you one shot. But then you would ult. So I just think her ult will always carry the kit. So you know she will always be a strong jungle as long as they don't nerf the ult, which I don't really see a way to nerf it. We'll continue. Erlang Shen, right? I mean, this character is fucking dead, bro. Like, this character has to be so dead. Like, this character is dead. One-shot meta, I mean, Erlang is definitely not the strongest in that, right? In that regard. He's a kin-size character. He's a overtime DPS character. Just, I don't know. I don't like him in this meta at all. DR strong, too. Means his ult is fucking no value. He doesn't really have that much CC. I feel like you could never put Erlang this low in a tier list prior, you know, to the years of Smite. But, I mean, no knock-up. Pin is whatever. One shot. He doesn't one shot ever. DR cooks his ult. Healing is reduced. Like, I mean, that character's dead. Let's continue. Fenrir is an S tier character. They gave him a huge buff. Yeah, I feel like Fenrir has a lot of value. I think I don't know if I would put him S. I'd probably put him A or S. I think he definitely has a shit ton of characters that counter him, in my opinion, right? Like I don't know, like as Thor, I just don't see me ever losing to this character. Like he jumps me, okay, I stun him out of his brutalize. He then has no damage. Then he's forced to ult. I could beads and or ult out of that scenario. It seems like Awilix is good versus him. I mean, I think he's very strong. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if he's S tier. I feel like this might be the only time he's actually ever S tier, so I'm actually gonna leave him there. Gilgut. I mean, this character is dead too. Dead in the floor. Hebo. I would say Hebo is a strong jungle. I do feel like he's a bit overrated right now. I feel like he's just strong. He is not S tier. I think Hunbots is in the same time. I think he's A tier or S tier. If his early game wasn't so weak, I think I'd put him S, but he still has that weakness. You know, his 1 through like 7 is pretty weak compared to Fenrir or Awilix. Aeos is too, but he scales so hard, so. Alright, let's continue our roll here. You know, actually, I think Horus is okay right now. I think he's definitely an average jungle, average to strong. He does have one shot potential in my opinion. 2-1 if the 2-1 with Joe's Hydras just does like I think maybe like 700 damage in 2 items. Kind of crazy, but I don't think we've seen much of him. But I think he definitely has the potential. We're probably gonna make a video on this guy too. I gotta make a video on these two. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Kali. I just don't think it's an auto attack meta, like for junglers. Like Kali, I don't know. I don't think I'd put her here. Doesn't seem right. But I think average jungle. I think she's good. Yeah, I wouldn't put her strong jungle. I don't believe she's a strong jungle. I think she's probably just an average jungle right now. She doesn't one shot. I mean, you could go Hydra's Deathbringer, but like. I don't know. You're forced to ult immediately. You blink 3, right? You're hoping for a crit, and then if you one shot them, great. Then you have to jump out. If you don't, then they beads your 3. Then you get turned on. You're forced to ult. Once you ult, you no longer have fight. Yeah, I think it's fair to leave her average jungle. Loki, I think is actually an A tier jungle. I probably will be dropping a Loki video very soon. I think in the one shot meta, I mean. If Loki's name doesn't pop up, then who does? I think Mercury is an S tier jungler. I think he power farms the map. He has great gank on all lanes. Map is really big, so he can macro it very well. Just in general, like just the character's always strong. I think his ult is weaker on this map, but not so much where it makes him weak in my opinion. Just not as easy to get free ults across the map, but still good ults, good objective damage in general. Naja, I think, is S tier as well. One shot. I mean, maybe strong. I would say is between S tier to A tier. I think it's only as good as your Naja is. I think Naja is a hard character to pull off. But I think if Naja is strong, like if you're a good Naja, I think he is S tier. Yeah, she. I don't know. I just always say whatever. Mulan is dead. I'm not even gonna put her on this list because I have done a lot of Mulan jungle in my day, but just don't think she's very good right now. She doesn't scale hard enough. I think Nem is pretty average. There's a lot of people playing Nem right now, but I don't think she's very strong. My reason being she doesn't one shot. Like ult to one. Like if you go crit, she does. You have to ult and then get a couple autos off and then hope for the crits. But I just feel like other characters do what she does and are infinitely more consistent on the one shot. Like this character's hoping for the crit auto cancel, right? While these characters don't need to hope for the crit. Erlang isn't D. I mean, could be D. Could be D. Could be. The thing about Erlang is that like he still has setup. Like regardless of not being a high damage character, he still has good setup. But I'd agree. You could definitely argue for D. I think Pele is actually probably a strong jungle in this meta. She's gonna take one person out, but she's not. I don't think she could take out multiple. Depends on the fight, obviously situational. But after she ults threes, she's gonna 3 ult 2 1 right. After that, it's really hard to continue to kill people. You just have to have hard flanks, and even then, is Odin jungle alive? I mean, there's a lot of characters here that I could pretty much make jungle, you know, Nike, Odin, but I'm just going to do what's meta right now, and then I'll probably come back to the niche. Osiris, like I said, you guys have heard me talk about it. Don't think, you know, auto attack junglers are the thing right now. I don't think it's very strong. Ratatasker, I think Rat, is a strong jungle in this meta. Where'd he go? Okay, he went here. I think Rat is just strong, always hard CC, global on a big map is great. He has like mini one shot, you know, his one shot isn't as clean as some of these characters here, but it's still there. I think Ravna actually has pretty decent value. I think his weakness has always been like he doesn't one shot, but I think in the meta and these items, I think he does enough to, you know, take out people, and with his immunity, he can counter the other people trying to one shot, so it feels like Ravna is pretty damn good. I think he's better than he's been in a while. I think Cirquette's in the same spot. I don't think she scales I think she's strong 1 through like 17, but I think around when you start getting to the 5-6 slots, I think other junglers just become better. But she's still strong. Definitely very strong. I think Set is in the same spot. Set could be maybe S tier. I just feel like these junglers do more though when it gets to late game. I think Set gets popped if you go full damage. Like he can't just keep spawning clones. I think that was like something that he was really good at last season when everyone was really tanky. You know, you're able to survive in these fights. I'm not gonna do Shiva Wukong. I'll do him later. I think Susano is S tier. Just one shots. I mean, if there's not a character that's probably better than him in the one shot meta. I think Thana is S to A tier. I just think he can be kind of inconsistent. I think Brawlers and Divine is too good. I think like his one shot and reset on fights all depends on sustaining in fights, and that's very hard to do when there's global anti-heal. Brawlers and Divine are such strong items. Like these characters don't need sustain to one shot, right? While this character does, like to kill multiple people. But I think Thana could be argued for S tier, but I think A is definitely more consistent. I think S would be kind of like, oh, I love Thanatos, you know? Which I do love Thanatos, but I think Thor's S tier, no doubt. I mean, he's Rat, but he can double tap from far in one shot. Like Rat, you dash 3, right? If he beats it, you're dead, right? Thor 2-1. If he beats it, you're not dead, correct? So like, like it makes just such a big difference in this type of meta where you're dying immediately because you're building 5-6 slots of damage. It makes a big difference. You see, I think Suki, you know, I think he's just been nerfed too hard over time. He doesn't do the like these big boy numbers. You know, he can take like a 1-3-2 ult combo will kill someone, but it takes so much time to do this. Correct? Like think about these guys, right? Two ult, literally Susano 2 ult 1 dead immediately you die. Merc ult crit double hit crit, dead. Fenrir jump auto brutalize dead, right? Awilix blink knockup auto flip dead. El Quang 2-3 auto 1 illusion dead. Like Suki's like 3, then you slow them, hit them 1, hit them 2, long animation, then ult. Like it's so much time, so many things can happen in that time. You know, very inconsistent in one-shotting like that. So I think I'm going to leave him at a strong juggler. I don't think he's S tier. And I really did try to make him work in this meta. I played him a lot because I kind of felt like this was the meta, and then it made sense for me. But on paper, it's very different from situational play, which people will always be confused by in tier list. They will always think situational. I mean, they will always think on paper and not situational. All right, so we're going to go back to niche junglers, so things that you guys may want to try, and I'll explain to you why I don't think it's strong or why I do think it's strong. So let's do like Ares. Like Ares is most definitely like fucking garbage. I mean, if the matchup is there for him, he's okay. But it has to be literally a perfect matchup for Ares jungle to be strong. Athena, I think could be... her scaling just went, they just killed her scaling on her 2. So even if you go 6 slot with Poly, like I think you dash 2, they beats, you explode, right? What's perfect matchup for Ares? AMC mid, fucking Huyi, ADC, support probably like something like RDO or some RDO, and then fucking solo is just non-CCM ults. Like if you get 5 non-CCM ults, I think Ares jungle could be decent. That is the only way. Which in Smite, I mean every character is a CCM ult nowadays. Alright, we'll continue with our niche characters just to make sure I catch up with you guys. I don't want to miss out on some guys that thought of some things. Nike does it one shot. She's a survivability jungler. She sets up. Don't think it's a meta for her. Odin, very very similar to Ares. Either it's a perfect game or it's not. And even then, why would you want Odin in the jungle? I just prefer to throw that in support. Like if the cage is good, why not have him tanky, right? Because it's gonna be hard to get a really good cage when you're full damage, or even hybrid. Shiva, same thing goes for him. I think he'd be a little bit more consistent than Ares. He doesn't need a perfect game, but he doesn't do the damage necessary, and his ult falls off very hard. Wukong, I think, goes in the same boat. I think Shiva's actually D tier. Tier, I think tier might be an average jungler. Tier's tier. I mean, he falls off so hard late game. Like I disagree. He just can't. He doesn't do enough damage. Doesn't scale hard enough. 1-2 combo doesn't kill. And if you're like damage hybrid, you just die. I haven't tried Vamana, but I think Vamana could be okay. I think Vamana could be good just because of the ult change, right? Let's say you blink on someone, right? Like you blink on a Thoth. You knock up 3, then you 2, then you auto in between. He dashes, then you chase with Vamana ult. I think that's pretty good kill threat. You're not gonna die. You know what I mean? Same thing goes for like Vulcan and whatnot. Morgan, I think Morgan's actually could be pretty good low key. But though I think the only reason I'm not gonna put her in a strong jungle is her ult CD is too long to be an active jungler. And that is my jungle tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I made it nice and quick for you guys to have a good understanding of all these characters. Make sure not to sit through an hour video. Hope you guys enjoyed.